Oh my goodness, we are live at the Big Festoon. This isn't just any normal conference. This is a show. If you truly want to be a business that is out there, that is going up, is growing, is a bit weird, wacky, and actually embraces all of that about yourself, the Big Festoon is something for you. We're going to give you a glimpse inside, and don't worry, we're going to tell you how you can be at the next one. Closed mouths don't get fed, and there is not a closed mouth in this room, I can guarantee it. It's a wrap. Hello and welcome back to the Big Festoon October Spooktacular 2025. I am joined by the gorgeous Natalie, aka Inspector Gadget. If you know, you know. But yes.
Or aka the Pain and Movement Detective, which is what the Inspector Gadget came from.
Which is where it was all linked. So with that in mind, tell us, I still said Natalie, didn't I?
It's all right.
There's Nat.
It's all right, I'm Natalie, I'm Nat, whatever.
Tell us who you are and what you do, my lovely.
Yeah, so I'm Nat Nicholson. I'm a pain and movement specialist, otherwise known as the Pain and Movement Detective. And I look at things in a slightly different way when it comes to pain and movement. I'm not a physio, I'm not an osteopath, I'm not a chiro. I should actually have a t-shirt just saying not a physio. Because I look at things from a different lens, which is where the detective thing came from. I piece together people's history and we look at what's gone on before they've got to the place that they're at to find out what their brain is working around with their body, surgeries, old injuries, etc. But also just how the brain is just dictating what's going on in the body, because everything comes from the motherboard, the brain. So I do things in a slightly different way.
I love it. So how did you get into this?
How did I get into it? So yeah, indeed. I was a sports and remedial massage therapist. And I quickly found out that I was just releasing off lots of muscles all the time. It's like people would come in, they'd have tight muscles, and I'd go, yeah, let's release them off. And then people would come back again with tight muscles again. And it became this kind of like, oh, the tight muscles are back, let's do the maintenance thing. And I was like, there has to be more to this than that.
Okay.
And I went off into the neuro world and realised that actually the brain is this amazing, amazing being that is really just trying to keep us alive every day. And when it senses that there's risk or threat in the system, it will tighten up the system. So sometimes those muscles are actually protecting something else. And the last thing they want is for you to release them off because they're protecting something or providing stability where something else is missing. So it was that kind of going on the course and trying to find the different protocols I could put in and the different assessment methods I could use in order to find out what the body was actually doing, what it actually needed, and to find out how I could do that best for my clients and for myself. You know, I was the biggest guinea pig.
Why not play with yourself?
Yeah.
In the nicest sense.
Totally.
But this is the thing, right? Because I know when I'm getting stressed, and sometimes I don't consciously know I'm stressed, but mine's that shoulder blade bit, and I all of a sudden my arms are back, and I can feel myself just holding so differently. And it's when I then sort of think, what is wrong with me right now? Come on, what's the matter? That I can kind of go, oh, it's this, right, what do I need to sort that out? And I can feel myself loosen up, and I'm like, hey.
And that's what we want. It's like I want more people to be empowered to think like that, because so many people will go, oh, I've got neck ache, I've got shoulder ache, and then they jump on that roller coaster of, oh, I've got the pain, and I'm going to just keep rubbing bits, and then it kind of makes things worse. And actually, if you can just kind of go, right, what's going on with my system? What other stressors are happening at the moment? Because absolutely there can be stress and emotions, but there can also be just a perceived threat that the brain thinks is on the system. You know, like loud music can be a perceived threat, and I could tense up because of that. I could eat something and that could make my body go, oh, I didn't like that.
Okay.
You know, there are so many different reasons why the body is going into tension, and it's not just about it's not just about emotions.
Stress.
Although thank God people are starting to see that, but it's not just as simple as like, I've got something that's hurting, oh, let's just rub it better. Because actually we need to get to the root cause of why that's happening. Why? You know, that's my thing. I'm always saying why.
Petulant child, but why?
Totally.
But this is excuse me, this is it, right? Because and I think I'm only fortunate, I probably could only tell you why my shoulder blades hurt. That's probably the only thing. I couldn't tell you anything else. But because I hate massage. So rather than people go,
Interesting.
oh, do you want to, I'm like, no, like that would, if you said to me, do you want a massage, I would immediately tense and be like, don't touch me. But whereas it's therapeutic for me to give a massage.
Oh.
So I go the other way around. So of course for me, I've always had to try and solve why my muscles are tense, because I'm like, everyone's like, do you want a nice massage? No, don't touch me. That will make me worse.
But intuitively, you're not wanting that either, you know. So actually, your body's going, I don't like that. That's not a thing. And actually, when we can kind of listen to that nervous system response, it's really, really interesting. I've got this amazing client, and he kept on going to a chiropractor, and they kept on readjusting his pelvis. It kept going out again. And he was like, you know, and I've got an achy hip, and I've got like Morton's neuroma in my foot. And I was like, but why is your body holding itself like that? And why isn't it staying when you get readjusted? And we actually looked at his nervous system response, which is he's got a lazy eye. So his brain is going, well, this eye is lazy in the right side, so I'm going to adjust slightly so that my dominant left eye that's stronger is always kind of focal point. Yeah. But that then was turning his whole body to the right, putting pressure into his hip, putting his pressure into his foot that gave him a Morton's neuroma. So all the adjusting in the world wasn't going to help him, because his nervous system was going, well, actually, I need my eyes to be here because it feels less threatening to be able to see with my better eye, you know. Yeah. So actually, when you can kind of look at it from that different perspective, you know.
So how do you solve
How do you solve that? Well, for him, I didn't touch his hip, didn't touch his foot. I gave him eye exercises for his right eye, and we strengthened up the movement in his right eye and got his right eye working with his left eye, so that the information coming into the brain was more like, this is center, this is where my body is, so that his body then will just then naturally go, this is then where I need to be. But if you're here, your whole body's going to set itself up around there, you know.
Oh my goodness,
so
that's magic.
I know, right?
It's cool.
Isn't
magic.
it cool? It's really cool. And I think that the biggest wow moment for me was because I actually experienced it for myself. I had the shoulder pain for many years, and I'd done all of the scar work and all of the things structurally that I need to do, and it actually came down to a sound that was annoying me. So during COVID, my husband was drilling out in the garden, but it was like a metallic sound. And I suddenly realised it was the drill sound from the tattoo that I'd had. I'd worked on the tattoo as a scar, but I hadn't worked on the sound of the noise of the drill that had done my tattoo, and also that had done my root canal on that side as well. And it was the sound that was irritating my system.
Wow.
And just down-regulating that. So yeah, when you kind of suddenly
so you just got rid of your husband.
I do, just you either you go or you're never drilling near me again. But it is that thing of like, you know, like at the moment the music's loud, you know, and I know for some people that really disturbs them, but at a certain level it disturbs all of us.
Yeah. Well,
you
this is, I mean, from when we came in March, we were downstairs, and I could only interview during breaks because it would distract the speakers. But I was finding myself, I didn't have headphones. We didn't do headphones last time, so I was stood there going like that, getting people to talk to me, and then I was like, I don't actually know what you're saying sometimes, and some of the stories I hear are really quite like, and I thought, God, if they just told me that their dog died, and I'm going, wow, that's amazing. and it was the biggest fear I had. So this time round, again, we immediately headphones on, and it doesn't completely get rid of it, but I'm yours right now. You're mine.
Focused now.
This is it. And I love that I'm still in the moment, because this is what the Festoon's about.
Totally.
Like, if you can hear it, this is the Festoon. But I love that I can be in the moment and be with you all at the same time. Yeah. It's incredible.
It's amazing, isn't it? And I'm starting to really realise like the power of like what you can do with that kind of knowledge as well, because you know, like we're being distracted, other people are more distracted sensorily. And I look at my daughter, she's got dyslexia, she has a coloured film that she reads through. But actually, who's to say that we don't all have a better version of colour on the spectrum of colour that we all read better through, but we don't know because we're not dyslexic and we haven't been tested.
Or we think how we're reading is the normal.
Yeah, right.
Like I remember Ben having jokingly putting his brother's glasses on, and he went, oh, you're so old, like that, put the glasses on and went, Oh, holy hell, is this what you're meant to see?
Yeah.
It's just that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I could talk to you for hours.
It's fascinating though, isn't it? And when you start going down that road, it's like,
And I'm like, yeah, we're going to grab all your details, everything like that. We're going to stick them in the show notes below. Thank you so much for coming.
Oh,
and
thank
talking
you
to
for
me.
having me.
Absolutely
Thank you
lovely.
so much.
And yeah, as I said, reach out, find out what those problems are. If you've had that niggle that's been niggling for a long time now, and yet every time you get it aligned or sorted, it's still coming back. Maybe the problem isn't that direct muscle or problem or ache. Maybe it's something in that motherboard, like you say. So come and find Inspector Gadget. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.